toughest shell. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Floyd County has a new animal control ordinance many consider a win for animals. And yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear announced 2 higher ground communities for flood survivors.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 o'clock on October 27th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Evan Hatter for a look at your forecast this morning. And Evan, we've seen a beautiful day yesterday. Those clouds are starting to move in today, but hopefully we can get by rain-free on this Friday.
Well, some folks have already seen a couple of showers this morning, but I think those are going to be few and far between as we head through the day. I just don't think that abundant moisture is here yet. But as we head through tomorrow, that's when the moisture increases, and then it's Sunday is really when those showers start to move in. But a couple of sprinkles can't be ruled out through the day today, though most of us will just stay mostly cloudy. Here's the view from our front door this morning here at WYMT. Obviously, sun's not up yet. Can't really see the extent of the cloud cover, but it's working in. Temperatures already in the upper 50s this morning. Some folks pushing 70 already, and we'll continue to see those temperatures increase through the morning hours. By the time we head through the afternoon, though, we'll be well into the 70s. Showers already starting to move in. Some of that moisture there in central Kentucky. A couple of those moved up near Moorhead a little while ago. So we'll continue to watch those as they push over toward the Huntington metro area. Forecast first this morning for the kiddos at the bus stop. You don't need the jacket today. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. With those low 60s out there to start this morning, clouds increasing, pushing 80 this afternoon. And enjoy it now because we've got some big changes on the way. Details in a few. Olivia?
Evan, thank you. A young Owsley County man died Wednesday after a public battle with brain cancer. You might remember Austin Reed. He was this year's honoree at the Gray Matters 5K, 10K race earlier this year in Whitesburg. Gray Matters is a charity organization created by our own Brandon Robinson, who is a brain cancer survivor. Brandon pushed Austin in his wheelchair and completed the race in May. Thousands of dollars was also raised for his scholarship fund. Funeral arrangements are pending. Austin Reed was just 26 years old. A new document in Floyd County is bringing animal advocates from around the region together to celebrate progress for pets. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about revisions that reimagine the region's animal welfare guidance.
When it comes to animals, area advocates are ready for change.
I guess a lot of people have old-fashioned views on what animals' purposes are and how to keep animals, but realistically, they're living creatures the same as we are, and they deserve the same respect.
So the Floyd County Fiscal Court created an animal committee in 2020 to make sure that respect was reflected.
These animals don't have voices. You know, their pain and their suffering and their body tells us that they need help, and we've got to pay attention to that.
This year, the committee drafted a document to drive change, using a Kentucky revised statute as a guide to create an ordinance they say will keep animals safe.
It eliminates the gray area, and it really tells you black and white what is allowed and what's not allowed. And for these animals, it's an absolute win.
The statute targets abuse, neglect, and more, adding language to clearly define what is acceptable treatment for animals, and helping to provide clearer guidance for law enforcement officials to collar those who contribute to the mistreatment.
We basically added adjectives to the already existing KRS, and we laid out definitions within the KRS to give a black and white representation of the law.
From living conditions to feeding and vetting parameters, advocates say it places the onus on the owners to take care or take the consequences.
Guess what? Accountability. You're responsible for them.
For dogs, cats, and everything in between.
There's no gray area anymore in Floyd County.
Upholding the laws for the paws. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
You can find the full ordinance on our website. Those involved say it has already received interest from other cities and counties. Maynard says she hopes to see it become a more universal ordinance in the mountains. A flood control study is included in the Energy and Water federal funding bill that passed the U.S. House yesterday. Congressman Hal Rogers says the bill includes $500,000 for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to study flood control options along the Kentucky River following historic flooding in 2021 and 2022. It now goes to the Senate. For more on what's in the bill for Eastern Kentucky, go to WYMT.com. Yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear stopped in Letcher and Floyd counties to announce the 6th and 7th new higher ground communities for flood survivors. WYMT's RJ Johnson was in Jenkins for that event.
A new higher ground community will be built in Jenkins for flood survivors. Governor Andy Beshear was there to announce the more than 90-acre project.
It is incredible. After these families have been through so much, they're going to have a place to call home that they know is safe. This project is supported by the Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund in partnership with two nonprofit builders, Fahy Housing and Homes Inc. They're both here. Let's give them a big round of applause.
The Grandview community will be built off of US 23 in Jenkins and will soon be home to more than 100 flood survivors.
On this land, 115 families who have been through the worst, who likely lost everything they had save the clothes on their back during the worst flooding of our lifetime, will have a new start and a home they know that flooding will never occur.
Mayor of Jenkins, Todd DePriest, says the land comes from a donation from three brothers.
There's a 92-acre donation from the Johnson family to make that possible. They've got sort of designed into those 92 acres, 115 house sites for that area.
Including area for possible development, such as trails, businesses, and more.
That's all being looked at, what the potential is for here and what all could be built up here. So it'll look like a whole nother community that goes along with Jenkins, or we're going to tie it to Jenkins so it's not separate.
With more developments underway of helping rebuild the region, DePriest says he's happy to get to work on this project. In Jenkins, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Governor Beshear presented more than $3.5 million to Homes Inc. and Partnership Housing Inc. out of Owsley County. In addition to the Grandview project, he also joined leaders to announce another higher ground community in the Wayland community of Floyd County, which will mean 12 homes for flood survivors there. Attorney General and gubernatorial candidate Daniel Cameron is set to make some stops here in Eastern Kentucky soon. Officials with Cameron's camp announced the Republican candidate for governor will be at the Clay County Justice Center in Manchester this morning around 11:30 a.m. Cameron will also be at the historic Davis House in Paintsville on Monday at around 6:45 in the evening. Finally, Cameron will be in Pikeville, Hazard, and London for Halloween. Many folks are enjoying fall by looking at the beautiful foliage, and as leaves come down, folks are doing what they can to keep their lawns in pristine condition. But some cities in the country have banned items like leaf blowers altogether. Leaf mulching is a practice in which people do not rake leaves but mow over them instead. This can benefit the natural ecosystem of your lawn. Decomposing leaves enrich the soil, adding nutrients and organic material.
Leaf mulching, you're wanting to just get a really dense pile of leaves, water it down, and just let it sit.
Some leaf blowers use a two-stroke engine which mixes oil and gasoline and spits out as much as a third of that fuel as unburned aerosol. This results in leaf cleaning being extremely loud and dirty. A host of masked heroes hit the streets of Pikeville yesterday, not to protect the streets, but to parade through them. The annual Model City Head Start Halloween Parade came through the downtown area, giving the kids a chance to trick or treat with the business owners before last night's Nightmare on Main. The event saw a large turnout, with everyone from Spider-Man to Blippi to Sonic the Hedgehog filling a Halloween bag.
I think it's just so fun that we get them out and they get to meet, like, see the different businesses, and then they get to dress up and get candy.
I think it's really good for the community to be able to kind of give back to our kids too, and just to be involved with our Head Start program.
Yes.
Pikeville's police pig Hammy made an appearance, as did Pikeville Fire Department's Sparky the fire dog. Business owners say they look forward to seeing the kids and costumes every year.
Another check your forecast as you walk out the door this morning. Things looking okay for now, but the clouds continue to increase through the afternoon. Here's our Pikeville Medical Center camera as we work outside right now. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s region-wide, but some upper 60s starting to work in. And we'll see those clear skies for now, but our travel forecast as the clouds increase. It's a milder start, but we may need to hit the AC as we head home on a rather warm Friday afternoon, but those changes are on the way. I'll detail those after the break. Olivia?
Thank you, Evan, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, the House of Representatives is back to work after more than 3 weeks without a speaker, and now they face an abundance of issues.
This is an authentic butcher shop, where meat is hand-cut in store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert